Commenting, reflecting, reasoning, reckoning.
The Huddle.
It is now 19 to 6, and from whaleoil.co.nz, Cameron Slater is with us. Hello, Cam.
Hey, Harry.
And good to talk to you. And Matthew Hooton is with me, who writes a fine piece for the NBR every Friday. Hello, Matthew.
G'day.
Good to talk to you. Cam, first to you. Opposition hammering the government on the Sky City deal, accusations of backroom deals, the Prime Minister intervening, not alleging corruption, but dirty deals, shady deals, dodgy deals, shonky deals, whatever. Prime Minister announced this in June last year that he was involved, so there's no secret there. Where do you see this right now?
Well, I'm just wondering when Labor's going to hand back the $60,000 they've received from Sky City over the years in donations. I mean, if it's dirty money, then it's dirty money, and they should come clean and hand it back. But the bottom line for ratepayers of Auckland is that we get a convention centre, we get 1,000 construction jobs during the time that they build it, we get 350 jobs after that's been completed, we get conventions which bring tourism dollars, we bring accommodation costs, all of those sorts of things to the city, all at no cost to the taxpayer, but for a few lines of legislation to be changed to allow 500 more pokies so that stupid people can help pay for it. I think it's a win-win-win situation for everybody except the Labour Party, who seem to be against jobs.
Win-win-win, Matthew? How do you view it?
Yeah, well, those are the alleged benefits of it. Look, in general, I don't really agree with these sorts of things. They're sort of... It's almost a little bit socialist. I mean, you wouldn't get true right-wingers who believe in free markets intervening in this way, but New Zealanders voted for more hands-on government when they voted first for Helen Clark and now for John Key. And of course, in cases like this, none of those alleged benefits ever do eventuate.
At least we're not paying for them.
Opera houses and convention centres and sports stadiums all around the world, they always lose money. They never deliver the wider economic benefits that are promised. It seems implausible to me that, someone's going to choose to fly thousands of their staff down for a staff conference to New Zealand when there's perfectly good convention centres in Dubai or Hong Kong or Sydney or Dallas or Las Vegas.
To do that.
But hold on.
We'll see.
The loser will be Sky City. We won't be.
Right.
Won't be the ratepayer.
Well, it's brilliant. The loser is a private enterprise, so
Sky
we don't
City
care.
can't lose from this deal.
Exactly. Neither do we.
That's absolutely right. They will make a 12% return on their investment, according to Goldman Sachs. They're going to put up $350 million, and they'll get $42 million a year, which is 12% return. So that's a good deal.
They'll pay rates on that too, and then they'll pay tax on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think these sort of things look a bit messy, but what was happening here was John Key was acting in his capacity as Minister of Tourism. He had this policy, whatever I might think about it, that there should be a loss-making convention centre in Auckland, and instead of using bureaucrats to do that tender process, he took control of it himself. He says he put his idea of this exchange for pokie machines for the convention centre to Sky City because he knew them. And he says he also gave exactly the same treatment to the other four bidders for the convention centre. What the Prime Minister did here is he went to the five bidders.
He cut a deal is what he did.
He said, what about this idea? Those four other bidders, presumably, in the Prime Minister's opinion, they didn't have as good a view.
He's cut a deal that hasn't cost the ratepayers or the taxpayers a single cent. We get a theatre and a convention centre.
Now, theatre, what's this about?
A deal that's been slid under the radar, and it's one of the reasons why you won't hear a squeak out of Brian Rudman, because he's quite pleased that we're going to get a world-class theatre in Auckland at no cost to the ratepayers. It's part of the deal. There's a theatre included in the convention centre deal, and it's providing for the arts. So, as I said, the only people who are paying here are the ones who are being taxed for their stupidity of putting money into poker.
And I think there's
another cost. When you've got what's happening here is pokie machines are being transferred from neighbourhood pubs into the casino, and when they're in the neighbourhood pub, they pay 37% of their takings to charity. When the same pokie machine is shifted across the road, put in the casino, it only pays 2% to charity.
No, that's not true, Matthew.
So 2%
that's not true, Matthew. It's 2.5% of the total
profit
of the take of the whole casino, not just the pokie machines. And so it's far more money than a few random pokie machines in seedy little pubs in South Auckland.
Well, but the fact is there are far more of them, and they are being reduced as the casino expands. And so the difference between what would go to charity from that pokie machine when it was out in a pub to when it's in the casino will be transferred from charities to Sky City to pay for the convention centre.
Right.
So that's how the deal works. I think the difficulty is that some of the Prime Minister's statements on this do stretch credibility, particularly his one where he says that he just dreamed this up himself. One morning he woke up one day and he thought, I know what I'll do. I'll call my friends at Sky City and I'll say, how about this deal if you build me a convention centre? And he claims that he was never asked for it by the casino.
You sound like you're touting for someone on the, in the background there, Matt.
And that he just went to the casino and he said, I've got this idea. And the difficulty with that is that the casino company put the same deal to governments in Australia regularly, in South Australia most recently, just a year before this deal that John Key did. So it's just a bit difficult to see that there was no approach from the, especially seeing they make $42 million a year. It would have been negligent for Sky City's management not to have gone to John Key with this idea.
Right, we'll come back in just a moment. Matthew Hooton and Cam Slater. It's 13-6. Back with the Huddle and Cam Slater and Matthew Hooton. Cam, to you first. We left with Matthew. Briefly on this, I think. Crayford Farm decision tomorrow. Nothing much will change. What do you see in it?
I think it's as we predicted last week, Larry, when I think you had David and I on. We were asking our opinion on that. The OIO's come back. They've massaged the report in line with the busybody judge who decided to put his own personal views in place, and they've recommended it go ahead, and the ministers will have made the decision, and they'll announce it tomorrow, and yes, it'll be sold, and it'll go to the highest bidder, and that's as it should be.
Matthew?
Yeah, I mean, I've been involved in this, working for the alternative bidder group that was paying
No. Yep, sorry, Matthew, carry on.
Was paying offering 171.5, but yes, Cam's absolutely right. The decision apparently has been made by the ministers, and it will be announced tomorrow. I'm not sure why it wasn't announced immediately, but it will be announced tomorrow, I think, in the afternoon. And then next week it's expected that the transaction will go through and the farms will be sold from their current owners, essentially Westpac and Sydney, will receive a cheque from the buyers in Shanghai.
Yeah. All right, well, I thank you both, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Thank you, Matthew. Cam Slater, thank you. Cam Slater and Matthew Hooton on the Huddle News Talk ZB.